Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and Manchester City have lost their second game in a row. The start of the season that City fans would have expected is not going according to their wishes, and according to the plan of Pep Guardiola, they have lost 2-1 at Amex Stadium at the hands of Brighton, and you cannot say that Brighton did not deserve to win that game. I mean, it was a great game of football, let's be very honest with you. I mean, it was very entertaining, it was very open, it felt like the type of game that you would really want to watch, okay? Both teams are going at it. It was end-to-end stuff for most part of the game, even though City had more of the possession and they tried to this is the thing with Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. When they realize sometimes that things are not going to the plan, and the other team is trying to play that fast athletic football, they try to slow the game down on purpose. They had most of the possession. They're trying to tempt Brighton to come out and try to dispossess them and then use their attacking powers that they have, and to try to punish Brighton. But credit to Brighton, they really did not take the bait and they stick to their principles. They had a really good game. I mean, Jose set them up pretty well, and as I said, they had a very good chances in that first half, but it was Manchester City who went ahead and took the lead. Oscar Bob starts the move basically from his own midfield, takes the ball sorry about that, takes the ball, plays it to Marmoush, somehow wiggles past 2 or 3 players, and the ball goes to Erling Haaland, and he scores the goal, puts it in the back of the net, and becomes a 1-0 to Manchester City. But even after scoring that goal, and it never looked like City were dominating the game, or it did not look like that Brighton were not going to make a comeback, because as I said, Brighton really looked confident. Even after conceding that goal, their heads did not drop. They continued to play the way they were playing before, and they had that belief in themselves that we are going to come back. Especially at home, Brighton are really tough side. I had predicted this. I said it was going to be a tough game for Manchester City, and I said that I would not be surprised that even if Manchester City end up losing the game. I think for a 1-1 draw. That was my prediction of before the the game. But it ended up being better for Brighton, because I know all these signings have come in at Manchester City and people are raving about it that City are going to make a comeback. I have said this, out of the top 4 that I have predicted, City are the weakest in my opinion, and it is showing in the first even it's the first month, it's the first 3 games, but the signs are there. Between Arsenal, City, Chelsea and Liverpool, I think City are the weakest, and it shows today as well that they are not really able to dominate the games that they have been doing for the past almost a decade now. And in this game as well, Brighton really went toe-to-toe with them. Second half comes on and Brighton took the game to City, and City had to dig deep and try to defend those Brighton counterattacks, Brighton moves and chances, and they got the reward. They get that penalty. Of course, it was, if they would not have given that penalty, I was sitting and I watched it. The moment he jumps, I'm like, come on, don't do it. You have already, you messed up with that penalty, against Fulham. You gave that penalty, and now you have to give it. After all the backlash, if you somehow don't give it, it is going to be a catastrophe for you. And they ended up giving it. Fair play to them. James Milner steps up, scores the goal against Manchester City, his former team, does the celebration of Diego Jota, a former teammate, a wonderful moment, and Brighton are back in it. And after that, I'll be very honest, after Brighton scored, even before that, but after Brighton scored, there was only one team that looked like scoring, and there was only one team that looked like winning the game, and it was not Manchester City. And that just shows you how good Brighton were, and how much pressure City were in. And Brighton kept on going. I mean, they had 2 or 3 chances before they ended up scoring the goal. And again, a very well worked goal for Brighton. And as a manager, you would be really proud to see a goal score like that. And they end up scoring the goal. And right at the end, 89th minute, it becomes a 2-1 to Brighton, and then Manchester City and Pep Guardiola really had no answer to that. And Brighton ended up winning that game. A really good game of football, and in my opinion, if I'm being very honest, I mean, they deserve to win that, and I think the right team won as well. I mean, Brighton this season, nobody has really predicted them to have a good season. A good season in a way, like a good season for Brighton would be to qualify for Europe. I think if they end up doing that, it's going to be amazing, but nobody has really predicted that. The transfer window has been good, but the teams above them, again, I think a lot of people, including me, I don't think they are going to qualify for Europe, but I think a lot of us are underestimating Brighton this year. I think they might shock everybody, and they are going to fight for European places. And after today's performance and the way that they've started the season, you can see why the Brighton fans are would be really happy that nobody's paying them that much attention, because I think they are going to surprise a lot of teams, especially at the MX Stadium. I think it's very, very hard to beat them at their own ground. And the way that they play football, you know, the thing with Brighton is, firstly, they have so many players. They're not heavily dependent on one player. They can, so they have so many players who can, go ahead and win the game for you. And they, they are very good at attacking, but they are equally as, as gritty when it comes to defending as well. And I think that's a very good thing to have if you are, sort of a mid-table club. I don't want to say that I'm mid-table, like. Nobody really expects you to get relegated. Nobody expects you to win the league or something, but you are fighting for those European places. Like that top 10 sort of a club, and Brighton are that. And I think they are, the way that they play is really, really good. I love, I enjoy watching Brighton. If whoever they are playing, you want to watch Brighton, and I think that's a very, very good thing to have. Manchester City, on the other hand, I think there are, people are not going to realize, they are. I think that the expectations about City are really, really high, and I get that what they have achieved and whatnot. But I continue to say, Manchester City are not going to have that amazing season this year again. They had a dreadful one last year, and I don't think it is going to change this year. I think it is going to take time for Manchester City, and I think this year is going to be another transitional one. They have brought in so many players. They are again trying to, rebuild the squad, because majority of their core players have, either their careers have ended, or they have left City, or they are on the verge of declining, right? And so they brought in a good amount of players in January, and then they have brought in a good amount of players in summer as well. So it is going to take time. I would not be surprised, and that is why I put them a fourth in my prediction as well. And I say that time as well, that there might be a chance that my Manchester City might not make top 4 as well. Because of the teams below them, teams like Brighton, they are going to surprise, and Manchester City might, you are going to see a lot of results like this for Manchester City this season. And I don't think they are really going to challenge for the title. For them, the best hope is going to be to finish in the Champions League, and I think that would be a good season for Manchester City because of how many new players are. Of course, they have the tag of being Manchester City. They have the tag of Pep Guardiola and all of that stuff behind them. But sometimes, even the fans need to realize that teams sometimes you need to take a step back to to take 2 steps forward. It is a situation like that in Manchester City, and with what I have seen at the start of the season, I'm quite happy with the prediction that I made, and I really don't see it is it's that they are going to mount a serious title challenge. Maybe I'm going to be wrong, and Pep Guardiola is going to surprise everybody and is going to go on and win the league with City. But as I said, I really just don't see that happening. I think it will be an okay share, but it is not going to be a good year for Manchester City, because the way that they are playing, it can work for a certain number of times, but I think they are going to continue to have defeats like this. They might end up having 8 or 9 defeats this season again, and I would not be surprised with results like this. So yeah, big win for Brighton. A tough loss for Manchester City. This like the second defeats already. I said 8 or 9, so they already have 2 defeats, and they still not played the supposedly bigger teams till now. So that just shows how much work still needs to be done for Pep Guardiola and at Manchester City. So yeah, long season ahead for both of them. But with the way the season has started, Brighton's season looks more promising than Manchester City's. Yeah. That's it for me in this video. Let me know what you guys think of the entire situation, what you guys think of Brighton's performance and City's performance, and do you agree with me that City are not going to be a real a title threat, or do you think I am completely wrong? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 550 subscribers as quickly as possible. About 25 subscribers remaining, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.